Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. Today's video, we're going to talk about Marburg virus. And the only reason why I'm talking about this, again, if I've talked about it before, but the only reason why I'm talking about this is because people are bringing it to my attention and seemingly nervous about it. Here's the rub, guys. Marburg virus, Ebola virus, you can defend and protect yourself against it. That's a little easier. That's a lot easier, actually. The problem with defending yourself against those two viruses is that if they were to, again, get weaponized, get out of hand, or whatever it is, society would shut down, because the only way for it to burn itself out is to have society stay away from each other. Sort of like what we did with COVID, but this would be a lot worse, because nobody wants that shit, because the mortality rate's a lot higher, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But people are nervous about this, and I'm telling people, don't be nervous about it. This is something that you can see coming. This is something very, very defendable. You can protect yourself from it, especially by the time it reaches a city like New York. If it got out of hand, or anywhere in the United States, guys, if it got out of hand, we would see it coming. Why? Because we pay attention. We would start minimizing our movements around certain areas or not going to certain areas. So it's very, very, you can protect yourself against this a lot better than you could, for example, the common cold or the flu. Though, again, this is a lot more serious if you do contract it. But I think people need to be easy with the whole Marburg thing, because it'll be fine. If there is an outbreak, guys, it burns through people pretty fucking fast. The incubation period is pretty short, right? It can be anywhere between, I think, 2 days to 14 days or 19 days or something like that. And just imagine 2 days. It will burn itself out pretty quickly. Now, it also depends on what strain they got and whether or not they're going to be symptomatic in 2 days or symptomatic in 2 weeks. So that's something to consider. If and when they are symptomatic, that is the only time they can spread the virus. Again, according to CDC and WHO, which I know a lot of us don't really take what they have to say with a grain of salt, or take what they say with a grain of salt, but nonetheless, this is according to them. Now, the last 2 active cases, guys, are dead. This was in Ghana, and they died back in June. There have been no other cases since then, June. So again, it's all good. Every time a case pops up, guys, we don't need to be nervous about them. Like, oh my God, look at that. Look at what's going on over there. It is what it is. The shit's going to pop up. Ebola's going to pop up again. It's going to pop up all over the place. Again, guys, this is not going to be the last time we see it or hear of it. So we have to be used to this bullshit and be used to hearing about these things and these outbreaks. This is nothing to get nervous about or scared. Clearly, guys, if it becomes a global problem and we start seeing it in multiple countries and millions, tens and hundreds of millions of people are starting to die, then you can get nervous and or scared, and only then. But before that, fuck it. Those 2 guys were unrelated from one another. They didn't know each other, and they both lived in opposite ends of the Ashanti region in Ghana. So again, not even anywhere near each other. And one was 27, the other guy was 56, I think. And those 2 died, and it died with them. And again, back in June, and we haven't heard any other cases, so it's clear. So people need to stop worrying about it. Not stop worrying about it, but don't put too much energy into it. Pay attention to it when it pops up, but that's it. I know that there was a case in Spain, but I didn't hear anything about it after that. Or at least they thought there was a case in Spain, sorry, and I didn't hear anything after that. That's what it was. But still, guys, nothing to be alarmed about. When it starts reaching tens of millions of people, then, and only then. If it ends up in your neighborhood, then. But outside of that, guys, this is why we prepare. Because we see shit like that coming, we can protect ourselves from shit like that. Now, a little history on Marburg virus. It was first detected in 1967. There was a simultaneous outbreak in laboratories in Marburg, Germany, Frankfurt, Germany, and Belgrade, which is now today Serbia. The virus actually came from African green monkeys out of Uganda. So obviously, of course, just like every fucking movie, it started from a monkey in fucking Africa somewhere. And anyway, that's when they first recognized it. They actually recognized it in Marburg, Germany. And with that, guys, now we have this disease popping up every now and again. It's not running rampant. It's not doing what COVID did. It's just a disease that pops up here and there and dies off. Because the incubation period for a lot of these people have been short. Now, like I said, it can end up to, I think it's 2 weeks or 20 days. Sorry, either 2 weeks or 20 days. I can't remember. But a lot of these people have been symptomatic within the first 5 days. So the last 3 cases, I know there was 1 last year, there was 2 this year, there was a guy in China, actually, that's the guy last year. They were all symptomatic within 5 days. So it burns itself out pretty fucking fast. And once you're symptomatic, you only have a couple of days until you're dead. Except for the one guy in China who got on the bus symptomatic, didn't spread it to anybody else, so the Chinese said, and it died with him. Again, that's coming from the Chinese report. I take that shit with a giant grain of salt. So guys, after you become symptomatic, you have 8 to 9 days. But like I said, a lot of the guys, the last 2 guys, I think they died within 5 days of the virus. So still, 5 days, 8, 9, it dies with them. That is pretty fucking fast for you to die. It's not like you're being dragged out a month before you die. So that is sort of the good thing, because if it burns itself out that quickly, guys, the likeliness of it spreading that bad where we're shutting shit down is unlikely, right? So again, keep that in mind. A little bit of research, guys, and a little bit of reading goes a long way, because if we're watching these cases and we're watching how fast these people are dying after they contract it, or rather after they get symptomatic, if it burns itself out, and during its incubation period, until you're symptomatic, you can't transmit it. Again, according to CDC and WHO. So if that's the case, guys, and clearly the 2 guys in Africa didn't spread it to anyone else, the guy in China didn't spread it to anyone else, again, according to the Chinese, that's a good thing. So this is something not to be worried about. And even if it got to a global epidemic or pandemic, we as preppers see this shit coming from a million miles away. We will protect ourselves from it, and we will be okay. Like anything else, guys, because we are in the know and because we pay closer attention, we have the greater survivability out of everyone else. That is why we prep. All right, guys, other than that, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.